I'm Nicole Alonso.
And I'm Oklahoma Ward. This is the actor, and I'm the director from Crawl or Die.
And you are watching The 13th Wolfman.
Hey everybody, it's the 13th Wolfman. You know what? Today is day 7 in the 31 days of Halloween. 31 days of Halloween. This is the time of the year where I watch 31 movies in 31 days and have fun doing it. Technically, I watched 32 because there's always one left over for an honorable mention. And this year's honorable mention, it looks like it's going to be a good one. So let's get into it. This is day 7. And day 7 is The Thing. Nope, I'm not talking about the 1982 John Carpenter movie. And I'm not talking about the 1950s Howard Hawks film. I'm actually talking about the prequel from the 2000s to the 1982 John Carpenter movie. Mary Elizabeth Winstead, Eric Christian Olsen, and a few others come together to create the prequel, like I said, to the John Carpenter movie. And if you remember the John Carpenter movie, most of the time it has to do with Kurt Russell's character MacReady saying, "Oh look, it's the Swedes," and one of the doctors saying, "They're Norwegians, Mac," and that's what this movie is. This movie is the Norwegian team that when they went out in the original film, and they found the block of ice, and they found that camp and everything, and all the data, and that they took back. This is it. This is the story that leads up to them finding all that stuff. And I always thought this was kind of a cool idea. I mean, a lot of people don't like this movie, and I don't understand why. Because I think it's a very good companion piece to the 82 thing. I really do. I think if you watch them together, you watch this one first, and then you watch the 82 movie, it's all one long story, and it works. At least it works for me. You got Mary Elizabeth Winstead, who, as everybody knows that has watched my stuff wherever, knows I got the hugest crush on. Eric Christian Olsen shows up at her lab one day and says, "Hey, I have a job that maybe you can do, but let me introduce you to this guy." And this guy is the one that's actually offering her the job. And he says, "Look, I can't tell you a whole lot. I can tell you we need you now, and that's pretty much it." And Eric Christian Olsen's character is like, "Now you know as much as I do." They show up. She says yes. They go down. They go to the Antarctic, and they find out that there's a spaceship in the ice, and it's been sitting there for hundreds of thousands of years. Of course, this is the spaceship we see at the beginning of the 1982 movie, the one that falls out of the sky, and they also find a body, and from that point on, everything that the guy that offered her the job, I want to say was Skarsgård. For some reason, my mind's just, foggy right now. But from that point on, every decision that is made is poorly made. It's like they're scientists, but they're like, "Oh my God! But we found proof of life outside of our world, outside of our galaxy, This just proves it. We need to make sure we get a tissue sample." Yeah, nothing. Once you hear all the things that they're saying, like the guy's like, "So, do you have any miniature-sized drill bits?" And the guy's like, "I got a 30 millimeter, which is like about 1.25 inches. So it's about the size of a quarter, really." Maybe a little bit bigger. But, he's like, "Yeah." So they drill into it, and I'm thinking, you know nothing about this species. You don't know. I mean, the reason that it's in the ice is it froze to death. So why would you introduce warm air into it? I like this movie, but I'm just kind of going, wow, these people are really, really screwed in the head to think that they're going to get away with this. You know, the other thing that I like about this movie is it answers the question at the end of the original thing. So at the end of the original thing, you have McCready and you have Childs, and they're both there waiting for the fires to burn out, and they're saying, well, I'm not the thing, and the other one's going, well, I'm not the thing, and you know, you wonder who is. Well, this movie actually kind of answers that, because in this movie, or in the prequel, we find out that the thing cannot absorb and reproduce inorganic material. So if you have a broken arm and you have a pin in it, it's gonna replicate your arm, but it won't replicate the pin, because it does, but it doesn't put it in the right place, because it's not built that way to be that kind of machine. So in the 1982 movie, at the end, Childs has an earring. So we know that he is not the thing. I always thought that was kind of a cool, way of looking at it. I'm like, oh, wow. Okay, so now we have the answer. We know that Childs is the thing. We're still not quite sure about McCready. I mean, so we know who isn't. Let's put it that way. So yeah, I dig this movie. I think you should check it out if you haven't seen it. If you have seen it and you haven't given it a chance, I say throw the two in together and watch them as one complete story, and you might dig it just a little bit more. So that's day 7 of the 31 Days of Halloween. Of course, I'm the 13th Wolfman, and I'm on the prowl.